What's good, everybody? It's Big Game James, man. You know we in these streets. Stay in these streets. Feel me? But you know what it is. Dropping in here, talking real Cowboys, top Cowboys stuff, news, my thoughts. That's just it. But main reason why I'm jumping on this video is because I just seen the schedule. Obviously, I did a video a couple days ago about the Eagles opening up with the Cowboys. Excited about that. I already hear people talking in them Philadelphia streets like, now they Super Bowl because we getting hyped. No, it's not about getting hyped over the Eagles. You're the Super Bowl champions. Dallas hasn't played Philly since 2000 opening day. Yeah. Don't feel yourselves on that. Calm down. You're the Super Bowl champs. Who wouldn't want to get amped to beat Super Bowl champs on opening night when they raise the banners? Any team would. So don't flatter yourselves from me. And this is from me. Don't flatter yourselves on that one. But Cowboys on Thanksgiving are playing the Chiefs. I love that matchup. I think that's a great matchup. Dallas has the fifth hardest schedule in the league this year, so it's going to be really interesting, especially with all the new moving parts and new head coach, all the new things that have been added. It's going to be exciting to see what actually really happens this year with the team and the coaching. But like I said, Cowboys, Chiefs, I really like that matchup on Thanksgiving. And honestly, I really feel like the Cowboys are going to win that game. I don't know the records. I don't know what's going to be happening. Injuries obviously can change a lot of that. But let's say they're pretty much relatively both healthy. I'm going to go ahead and say Cowboys win that one because I just feel like, even when the Chiefs were winning before, when they were undefeated, they got Pat Mahomes, they got Chris Jones, they got some guys, but I ain't never looked at the Chiefs like, ooh, they're the juggernaut. They got Pat Mahomes. He's a big mitigating factor. But as you see, if you can get that pass rush after him, everybody becomes human. So I really want to see that matchup. I definitely feel like the Cowboys can win that game. I'm already against calling them to win that game because, like I said, if they both come in relatively healthy, I feel like the Cowboys are going to win that game somehow, some way. And then I just seen the Commanders are playing the Cowboys on Christmas Day, which we'll see how that happens because usually at the end of the year on Christmas, either the playoffs are already settled, things are already put in the air, and, standings, things of that nature, seeding. So a lot of times that game doesn't have a lot of meaning, but maybe it could this year because, hey, the Commanders are a good team again. We'll see if they don't have that fallback. I think they are going to have regression. I feel like it's just natural. You have a natural regression. Don't think you're going to fall off the map, but I feel like there'll be a natural regression. So we'll see how that happens this year. But I ain't going to lie, I like the Commanders being good because it makes it more fun when you watch the teams than you going through and just smacking them up and smacking them around because that's what Dallas been doing to them Commanders. So I'm glad they're good again because it makes it more worthy to watch, especially with Jaden Daniels. I think he's a really good quarterback, and I really like to watch that matchup. So that's my thoughts on those two games. Obviously, a few other things that's been talked about in the streets. Tyler Smith, offensive lineman, just changed his agency. We know what that means. That means he's getting ready for that big money contract, and he's getting the right agents to get him the right kind of money because he's going to set a big, big deal. So whenever you see those players switching agents right before their contracts come up, that means they're getting ready to get some big, big bread. So we'll see how that goes. I feel like, we always say Cowboys jump on this. Don't let this wait. Don't let this play out because you're going to have to pay him anyway, so you might as well pay him early. We'll see what happens with that. So, yeah, you remember we in these work streets. So, you rather the Cowboys jump on this early and not late, but it is what it is. He's eventually going to get signed. They do it how they want to. I ain't tripping on these contracts because it ain't my money. You know what I'm saying? So, I would just say hopefully they sign him sooner than later because you're going to have to sign him. So, if it costs you, it costs you. It's not my money they spending. So I don't know why we all concerned about that because it ain't our money being spent. So we ought to just chill, at least on that front. And then my dog, KG, what's up with you, baby? He sent me something yesterday. I did a couple interviews recently in the last year with Mike Fisher, and those were some banger shows. A lot of good info, especially when we came in the lame duck season. We basically both called it, and it basically happened exactly what we had talked about, especially Fisher. And then when we just did the last show, we just broke down a lot of things, and you should just really check out those interviews when they can, because it was some foreshadowing of things to come. But he sent me some when he was talking about the last line of help. Obviously, you've seen the Cowboys grab George Pickens, and we're excited to see what happens with that combo. I think it's going to be really, it's going to be really nice combo, man. I just be watching George Pickens, and dude is just different the way he plays. And then you matching him with CD. Dallas got a real formidable front. Like I said, this may be better than the Amari Cooper CD Lamb thing, because CD Lamb was coming in as his rookie year and, just really learning it. Where if CD is the vet, George has been there about 3 years. So I think that's why I like the energy a little bit better, because they both ain't coming in brand new. They're both coming in established. So I think it's going to click. I don't know if it hits the ground running, but I definitely feel like it's going to click. But in saying that, sorry I wasn't on the final word last night. I had some things come up, but I saw what Boss and Law were talking about. I've been up and down on the one tech. I've been saying get that one tech for 100 million years. I've always been saying defense wins championships, so it ain't never been me saying offense wins championships. It's always been saying defense wins championships, and that defense always carries. No matter if you got a dynamic offense, there's going to be days that offense ain't clicking and it might get shut down, but that defense will always carry for you. So you got to shore up that defense, and you have to shore up that run game. I've documented numerous times that, Dallas gave up about 137 yards a game on the ground, 156 at home, 25 rushing touchdowns. They need to get a one tech. And from what I'm thinking, they didn't do it last year because all in wasn't last year. It was lame duck season, as I had called it. It was lame duck season. So they weren't going to spend all that stuff. They weren't going to do these extra things for the team. They weren't going to go all out for Mike McCarthy. They were done with him. So that's why the bare minimum happened last year, because they were washing their hands. But yeah, as I was saying, man, you really need to establish this. I'm sorry, I just don't trust Mozzie. Year 3, let's hope he takes that next step, but you still need help even with him. And like I said, you got Denzel Jackson, Justin Rogers. I like the Teo kid from UCLA, but he's a rookie. He still has holes in his game. So you need a vet. You need a vet one tech. Linville Joseph, as I said, he was with the team last year. I said they would pick him up pick him up years prior, but I knew he was going to be the pickup. They did pick him up. He didn't play bad, but I feel like, I'm not saying, you love to have a difference maker, but it's probably not out there. And as I said on my video, that just like when me and Mike White did a video on these last two things, we said that the Cowboys are going to probably wait till the waiver wire, like they were talking about last year, waiting to the waiver wire. Well, this year, I think they really will attack the waiver wire, because this is not the lame duck season. They weren't going to do anything last year because they were done with McCarthy, as I said. So you got the bare minimum. I don't know how people didn't see that, especially when they signed Ezekiel Elliott. That was just a throwaway year. Now you got this year. They got their new coach. They're very excited. I'm going to say that in the last bit. They're very excited about it. And you see they're obviously helping them because the draft was very good. They did decent in free agency, and then they made like 5 trades with the dog trade with Pickens. So I would feel like if you're doing all this, you're going to go ahead and address that defensive tackle, and I feel like they're going to wait till those roster cuts when those cut downs happen, because there are some crowded defensive tackle rooms. There are going to be some guys that are going to be pretty good. They're going to get released, and I feel like they're waiting on that to really shore up that one tech. And I feel like they may really do it because it's showing that they are being a lot more aggressive with their new coach and their new coaching staff. And also, lastly, with the cornerback situation, it came out, Asante Samuel. Everybody had been wondering, why are we signing Asante Samuel? I've been on the Asante Samuel train since he came out of college. I wanted him drafted over Kelvin Joseph, but that's another story. But now it comes out that he had a neck injury. I watched the Fish report. My dog, KG, sent it to me, watched the Fish report, and he was basically saying that, they had some eyes on him. But, I wrote on my Twitter, I'm not messing with nobody with a neck injury. You just saw JLK from the Cleveland Browns. He's out for the whole year. I just feel like your career is done. He was out since week 8. Now you're missing a whole nother year. your football career might be over. And when you have a neck injury, you're a cornerback, you're tackling, that's scary. And for me, we already dealt with neck injuries with LVE, and it didn't turning out good because he retired. So for my opinion, I don't care what clearance he gets, stay away from that. I love Asante Samuel. I would love to have him in the building. But you know what? When you have a neck injury, I don't want to touch that at all. Not me. I don't care. I'd rather go with Gilly. He already came back. He didn't have a bad season over at Minnesota. I know he's 34. He's not the player he was before. We totally understand that. But you need some kind of veteran presence in there. You love to have a younger guy, but you don't. You brought Gilly back. He came in the building when they were having announcements. And I feel like, just like me and Mike White talked about, it's only May right now. There's no urgency for them to sign him right now, and vets don't really want to get signed right now. But I feel like that's in their hip pocket, like we had talked about Sunday. That's in their hip pocket. They know it's there, and unless he gets any other offers, I feel like they jump on that if they don't find anything else coming in the streets. And my last thing, I made a tweet on Twitter. Saying it just feels different. Not saying, and I want y'all to understand this. Nobody drinks the Kool-Aid because they notice different things. It's not drinking Kool-Aid when you notice different things. I'm not drinking Kool-Aid on this team at all. Like, no way, no how, no possibility. But I can't sit there and say I'm not intrigued. I can't say that there's a little excitement because that's my squad. There is excitement because that's my team. But I ain't drinking Kool-Aid on the squad because I ain't seen Brian Schottenheimer coach or nothing like that. But I really feel like his energy, his enthusiasm, his attention to detail, his realness is really forcing those Joneses, because they really like him, to really open up the door and really help the team by all means necessary. And if they do that, then they have a chance. I said the Jones can control this narrative. They can control this narrative. They can go out and do whatever they want because nobody's firing them. So why not go all out, especially with a coach that you like? Why not go out and let's see what happens? Stephen Jones said, we're staying on their neck, and we have reason to be. So show us. I ain't hating what the front office has done. I don't hate Stephen Jones. He gets on my nerves because of the cheap ways. But if you turn it around and start doing these things, I don't got no hate for you. That's just the truth. Big Game James. Let me know how y'all feel in the comments. I'm out. Peace.